Hey, so so a lot of people have asked me, hey, how do I be a cool person? Well, the first step to becoming a cool person is that you gotta remember that people that think they're cool, most of them aren't very cool at all. And so if you're trying to impress cool people, well, they're too worried about being cool themselves so you notice anything about you because they don't care about you because they're too worried about being cool. So the best way to be cool is don't try to be a cool person because well most people that think they're cool aren't all that cool. So what I'm trying to say is that like to be a cool person, you can't want to try to be a cool person because if you're trying to be a cool person, well, that's just not cool to try to be a cool person because cool people don't really try to be cool. But people who think they're cool or trying to be cool, they're not cool at all. But then people think they're cool, but they're not really all that cool, and you get to know them because they're always just trying to be cool, and so they're not really real person, and real persons are cool, and so it's like it's like the Tao. You don't when you think you got the Tao, you don't have the Tao, and if you think you understand the Tao, then you don't really understand the Tao, and so like being cool is like having the Tao, and you just don't really don't try to have the Tao because the more you try to have the Tao and you're trying to be the cool, well then you're just not that cool. And so if you just stop just being trying to be cool and just be you, and then people that like you for who you are, they think you're cool because you're just being you, and then you like them, because they're not trying to be cool at all. So then they're pretty cool. So if you want to be cool, don't try to be cool. Just try to be you, and then just the coolness just kind of shows up on its own. So so if you want to be cool, just be you. If people don't like you, well, they're just probably not all that cool. So what I'm trying to say, in conclusion, is that stop stop trying to be cool. You're already cool. Okay. Bye.
I didn't even take my damn mic off of mute. Look at that. We're starting good, Mrs. Dreds. Look, you need to mute your stuff now. You got it? You got it?
Maybe.
You
Yep.
got it?
I got it.
You good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
This is this is what is this? This is a shit show already. No, this is Mornings with the Dread. I'm OSB Dreads. Of course, Mrs. Dreads behind the camera over there.
Yeah.
She's scared of it.
Not
She's you
scared of
you're
the
getting
camera.
ready. You're getting ready to go make that money, ain't you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Uh, excuse me. Got a lot to talk about. Got a couple articles. Uh, one horror related. One, well, it's kind of weird, but a China zoo denies allegations that there's a person in a bear suit to their biggest attraction at their zoo. It's pretty funny. I thought anyway, because we're flying by the seat of our pants.
Like always.
Like always, man. It's the
And
way of the
you didn't
dread.
send me these articles.
What?
You didn't even send me these articles.
I didn't. I didn't. But I did read you that one the other day. So but first and foremost, as everybody sees my awesome Hellvirus Haunted Asylum of Horror shirt, there's a good reason that I'm wearing this, Mrs. Dreds? You know what that reason is?
What is that reason?
It's the one you brought me. It's the one you brought in. I see Farmer. He now good morning, Farmer. Good morning, Mr. Nanners. They they that's why I'm wearing this shirt. No, there's actually a better reason. Um have you ever heard of Pervert Magazine, Mrs. Dreds?
hmm
Have you?
Yeah.
Are you a subscriber to this magazine?
I don't
You
know.
don't know what to say about that, do you?
I don't know
What do you mean you don't know?
because I don't know.
Well, anyway, there is a yes, she is. Tanya says, um,
Bam.
"Bam, get some of that." Um, there is a. I'm trying to do things here. This is not working very well. I'm trying to do on the fly, man. I'm on the fly.
We really need to get more prepared.
There's nothing you can really do to prepare you for producing on the fly. I mean, I have to really do this all, right here, bing, bang, boom. And I'm not like a, StreamYard, guru. So, it takes me a little bit. Believe it or not, I do indulge in a little bit of cannabis from now and then.
No, not you.
It's true. I know. I hope I'm not disappointing anybody with my cannabis use. But it is true. Yours truly does partake in the devil's lettuce. But here we go. Let's look at this. Pervert Magazine, which is a prop for the BAM Hellvirus Haunted Asylum of Horror feature film. That Kickstarter, before I forget, that Kickstarter for Hellvirus Haunted Asylum of Horror kicks off on Kickstarter.
Oh my geez.
That's pretty good, right? I told you I was feeling funny today. That kicks off September 1st. But right now we have this. We have Pervert Magazine. You can be an actor in the pages of Pervert Magazine. It's a prop that's going to be featured in Hellvirus Haunted Asylum of Horror.
I hope your photos are going to be in there.
Whew, me too. Here are some of the perks, and this is live right now. We've already got a backer, as you can see. I don't know who it is, but $100. Somebody had pledged $100 or pledged. Yeah, it's what it says. Pledged of $1,000 goal. Here's some of the cool little perks that you get. Now, this is one of those things. I mean, you kind of have to have like a little bit of a dark sense of humor and just kind of, live on the lighter side of life, not take things too seriously to really understand this and really appreciate Pervert Magazine for the awesome publication that it is. I even use president fingers. No, it's like that. I went like that. That's Italian. I told you. Here's one. An amateur photo. Have your picture featured in Pervert Magazine in a Polaroid, old school style. I love it. Pervert of the month. You can shine as a standout character in the movie. Creep of the month for those who enjoy portraying intriguing and mysterious characters. This was for you. And get your own character design featured prominently in the magazine. You can be on the cover, be the face of Pervert Magazine. Now, that is something, I mean, you can't really go wrong with being the face of Pervert Magazine.
That's facts.
You can be a centerfold. That's right up there. Your image will be an iconic part of the movie's narrative.
Tanya says she wants to be a movie pervert.
You want to be a pervert? Well, get your pervert butt over there to Kickstarter. But wait, there's more. That's my it's my radio voice. You don't know. Not only will you get to participate in the film, you'll also receive IMDb actor credit, making this a fantastic addition to your acting portfolio. Top it off, you can even create a character for the photo feature. Yeah. It's awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. As you can see, there's some examples of the Polaroid pictures. Some of the T-shirt squad. You see Al Omega, who's going to be in Hellvirus Haunted Asylum. Aaron Poe. I don't know the other people, but apparently fans. I got mine on. I'm part of the T-shirt squad. I don't know if anybody else has theirs. There's a little preview of what it's going to look like. This is pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Oh, there's El Mika. Get in, bitch. We're going to do butt stuff. That was pretty good. I think Michael would be impressed with that.
I think so.
I think so, too. So, and then I wanted to... read this. The only challenge to this campaign is funding the main feature, which may take a while and which will not inhibit the delivery of rewards in this campaign. We need the actual magazine to use on set before we start filming. So we need the, people to come and back Pervert Magazine and get some of these awesome perks to build this magazine to use in the movie, which you can donate directly. This is pretty much directly to the movie, but this is kind of building a prop to be used in the movie, but it won't be used in the movie. How many times am I going to say that? Unless we get funded. And again, the Helvira campaign kicks off September 1st on Kickstarter. So there you go. Go check that out. Bam. We're done with that. Done with that. Okay. We have Mike here.
Yeah.
My cousin Mike. How are you? Mikey has joined us. Mikey, I know you like to be a pervert and be in the Pervert Magazine. Jody, are you?
Am I what?
Are you going to be in the magazine?
No, I'm not.
I want my pervert name. Tanya says I want my pervert name to be Big Booty Judy. I guess you could have that. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. I think that's why Tanya comes in here to just throw me off. Oh, look at this awesome mug that I have, Mrs. Dreds. That I seem to be drinking my morning
don't have one of those either.
beverage out of.
I don't have one of those either.
This is your cue to ask me.
Because
where did
somebody
you get this
didn't
mug?
get me one.
Well, you know what? Your daughter over there at Paige Shelton Creations on Facebook made this mug. I'm pretty sure you could ask her. And if
you wonder why I
guys
didn't use my
need
ice
one
machine.
of these fine morning beverage mugs, just let me know. All right. Off to a slow start.
I knew it was coming. I knew.
Oh,
I knew.
Gonna be,
I knew it was coming, Tanya.
Yeah, and Jody can be Big Booby Jody. You can be twinsies.
I knew it was coming.
Well, there you go. So, all right, let's. We're also going to talk a little bit about. I mentioned a couple articles. I just want to breeze through. But we are going to talk about. There's a new documentary putting a really different twist on the Zodiac killer, called "The Myth of the Zodiac." It's on Peacock right now, 2 episodes, about 2 hours and 10 minutes or so of your time. It is interesting as hell. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit. And I have to preface this. It's not like we're just talking about the theories that they're bringing up, which I think are very compelling. If you haven't seen it, if you have seen it and you're in the chat, then please feel free to chat away and tell us your opinions of it. If you haven't seen it, well, we all know pretty much the story of the Zodiac, so don't really, not really spoiling anything, I guess, but we're going to discuss some of that as well. So we'll get to that here in a few minutes. Now, this one, I wasn't going to put this one up on screen, but I think people just need to see this. This will be the bear.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of funny. I mean, look, he's got a little sag in his booty area.
Yeah.
Um,
Did he lose a lot of weight?
yeah, right. It does kind of, look like right in that general area that and it looks like feet. I mean, like a person's,
Yeah, staying on their tiptoes.
not even. He looks flat-footed.
I have a hard time seeing it.
And if you look down here, I don't know if that's a shadow. It doesn't really look like it. I don't know, but it looks like a pant leg. But anyway, apparently his video's gone viral. I'll show it down here at the end if you can see it. It's just in small. It's a small video, but you can be seen standing on its hind legs. And interacting with tourists by waving his paws. That's not uncommon for, a bear to do. They say he's just he's not a talented bear. So some people take a video and say, no, this video, is not of a talented bear, but actually a human in a costume. The zoo on Saturday denied the charge, adding the temperature on that day the video was taken was 40 degrees Celsius. I'm guessing that's kind of warm on Fahrenheit. I don't know. And a person wearing a suit would not be able to tolerate the heat. Despite this, some people continue to believe that the black bear was a human in a costume. Now, I know you guys are just chomping at the bits to see this. So take a look at this. It's very short.
人模人样这个是。
那肯定不是人。大夏天的，将近温度有40度，你再套个皮毛的话，这人肯定先死了，对吧？
That was loud as hell.
You got that right.
I probably bursted people's eardrums, man. I should have. Here, I'm gonna play it again, but I promise this time I took the volume down. Now look at that. It kind of looked like I don't know. I gotta see it again. Maybe he's just got fat rolls. I mean, bears can have fat rolls, right?
Yeah.
Look, because he sits down, they disappear. Maybe he just lost a little bit of weight. Huh. What do you think about that? All right. Here's the second little article I got. Halloween H2O comes to 4K Ultra HD Steelbook. 25-year anniversary. It's been that long, Jody.
I didn't even know about this article.
I know. The September 26th is when this one's coming out. Did you like H2O?
I did.
You did? The funny thing, huh?
The only part that confuses me about it is
Mm.
in Halloween H2O, she has a son.
Yes, and he's got a really bad haircut.
And then
Now you
in
get
the
to
other one,
see
she has
that
a
in,
daughter.
4K,
Then she has daughters.
and then she has daughters. Yeah,
A daughter.
a daughter,
One daughter.
one daughter. That would be a daughter. Correct. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, what is there really a difference with 4K than anything else like HD and all that?
I don't know.
I don't. My eyes are so bad. I don't think it'll matter. I just don't see. I don't know. Maybe there is a big difference in 4K. I really don't know. Mr. Nanners, good morning, Kelly. Kelly has joined us. Mr. Nanners says, looks like a real bear to him. Looks like a real bear to me too. But I can see where people, would, take and confuse that. Let's see. Tanya says, I have bears that come in my yard nightly, and they look like that when they stand up. Yeah. I mean, that's what I figured, I mean, they stand up, they get little wrinkles in the bag. It didn't seem to you opened the door and had one standing on my porch, on my front porch. That would kind of freak me out a little bit. If you don't hear Mrs. Dred, she had to go tinkle. Yeah. Right in the middle of a show, Mrs. Dred goes and tinkles. She didn't come prepared. It's just like a long car ride. You go before you leave. You don't stop 10 minutes into the trip and have to go potty. So we are going to be discussing some of the theories of this documentary that's on Peacock called The Myth of the Zodiac Killer. And the myth that this professor, Professor Thomas Heron, I believe is his name, because, hey, like per usual, I did not take notes. I did not do any of that. I actually, I started watching it last night, and well, I dozed off. Mrs. Dreds dozed off way before me.
Oh.
Yeah. But I dozed off right around the second part. Like I said, it's 2 parts. They're about an hour.
I watched the
apiece.
whole first part.
Yeah, right. I dozed off somewhere in the second part, didn't get too far. Went to rewatch it, got up early, butt crack of dawn, 7:00, bam, I'm up. I'm, throwing some coffee down my throat. I'm being productive early on my day off. I'm not just laying around. What?
Why are you looking at me like that?
That's right. No, I got up and started watching and still didn't make it through the whole damn second part.
Yeah, we ran out of time.
Ran out of time. Got this pesky show to do.
Let's see, if you would have started watching at 7, you would have been able to watch the whole thing.
And if I didn't stop and talk through a lot of it too, because I do that. What the hell? What happened here? Toss a human over. If the bear eats it, then yes, it's a bear. Well, I mean, that's one way. Who said that?
Mikey.
Yep. That figures. It's almost like a damn family reunion in here. My cousin, my sister. So there are some pretty interesting myths going on. This professor, the whole gist of it that I'm getting is the myth of there being one killer named the Zodiac Killer is false.
Right.
The Zodiac, I mean, literally went as far as to say The Zodiac Killer is made up. It's a literary creation. It is not real. That these are actually separate murder cases lumped into the one killer. Thank you, Carl, for your input.
It'll be in every show.
So I don't know what do you think about that? What's your initial thoughts of just that theory alone, that it's separate cases?
I think in a few of them,
or separate, different individuals on these murders.
I just lost total train of thought. I honestly think that there could be more than one killer. I don't think that maybe every individual case is a different killer. I think
So
that
you're
maybe
kind
the first
of
two
going along with the original thought pattern when it comes to the Zodiac Killer, that it is one serial killer,
but not for all of them.
Not for all. Which one?
Maybe the first couple. I mean, they were right around the same area.
Okay.
And stuff that may have been the same person for both of those killings. And
the
then
third one was when we finally see the mask and the costume.
Right. I mean, there's all kinds of crazies out there. It doesn't take.
And between the
and then after the third one, there was no note.
Yeah, after the third one, there wasn't a note.
He wrote on the car.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you look at the handwriting, it's pretty much a standard male handwriting.
Yeah, it's kind of sloppy. You could tell, yeah. There, and the first notes that came after the 4th of July murder,
right?
Which was the second murders.
And
that was in Vallejo, I believe.
And he knew too much about both of the murders to not be involved with both of them.
That,
I mean, he knew stuff that the general population shouldn't know, that probably was not released or anything like that, that it wasn't put out there, that they just, I mean, he knew too much.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as Tanya said, it had me flip-flopping on whether it was one or multiple. It did me as well. I think there's like, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. It's kind of like you have a puzzle, okay? And you have, you're missing certain pieces, but you can kind of tell like what the story of the puzzle is. But it's like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. This does work. That doesn't work. I mean, it's when they were talking about the first one, I believe it is, where the car pulled up next to him. There were 9 bullets, or was that the second one? Was that the 4th of July one? Off.
No, that was the first one.
That's what I thought. That was the first one. And where they shot out the rear window or the side window. That was kind of compelling, that, because they found the shell casing on the passenger side where the car would have pulled up, right. According to the tire tracks, where the car would have pulled up. There's a shell casing some 20 feet away.
Right.
22 feet away from where the bodies were laying.
Right.
And where the bodies were laying, there were 8 or 9 casings there. Where did that casing come from? It was, I can't remember the caliber of the gun, but there's no way you're going to be standing here. So Thomas Heron is, pretty much saying that 2 people drove up, the driver and the passenger got out over top of the hood of the car. He fired and blew out the, back of the window or the side window. So if that being the case, then that completely already kind of, makes people question this whole one person, one Zodiac killer.
Right.
Because again, why, if there was one person, why would the driver get out of the car, walk all the way around the car to the passenger side, shoot, the bullet, the casing ejects, lands right there 20 feet away from the body, and then walk back around and get back in the car, which was noted in this documentary by Thomas. And some of it is just so, okay, well, that makes sense. That's logical. Some of it you can't really take and say, no, don't believe it. I'm stuck on this. I solely believe that it was one guy and whatnot. Why, after 2 murders, did this guy decide to start stitching, his costume together? What is that all about?
I mean, it was like 8 years later.
From the not from the first one. Man, there's trash men out there, as me and Mrs. Dreds both go, huh? The guy's theory on 2 killers for the first murder had me thinking exactly, as Tanya said. And, that one is like, all right, I see where this guy is going. Then there was the one where the guy pulls up, shines a flashlight into the car. That was the second one, I believe. And fires, just loads, just right in the passenger side. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, shoots her like 7 times in the back.
Yeah, I think so. Like 7 or 8 times. I mean, just loaded them up. The girl got hit a lot more, they say, than the guy. And, there's a lot of, speculation about that. Could it be, an ex, this guy, what was his name?
Jim.
Jim, what was his last name? Yeah, she was shot 9 times, Diane said. What was his Crabtree?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He went by something else, but
Phillips.
Yeah.
And he was interviewed in it because he was an ex-husband of the female victim.
Right.
But this happened
2 years
2
after
years after they had split up. They had already been remarried and went their separate ways. He kind of, as he puts it, he kind of went out of the relationship. It just wasn't working with him. When you watch the documentary, you can tell this guy's a very eccentric guy. He said on the 4th of July, when these murders occurred, he went out into the woods and eating a bunch of acid on the 4th of July. He said that was tradition. He, and that's something that, yeah. When I was a teenager, that was something that we always tried to do was, get a little bit of acid and watch fireworks go off. I mean, it just seemed like the right thing to do. And even more so in the 60s.
Right.
We're talking 68, 69, of course. And this guy, when you see him again, he just reminds you of an old burnout.
I mean, Tanya brings up the fact about him pausing when the guy asked him if he killed her. But as if I thought about it too, and I watched him, and you could tell that it emotionally, you could tell how emotional he got about that. Like, it's something that he's had to live with all his life.
I seen that too. When I first seen it, I was like, that, a pause can be perceived in two different ways. I mean, you really don't. I mean, a pause, like, man, I can't believe that you're doing this. And like, and personally, as I mentioned before the show, I believe him.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do. I believe him. I believe that, yeah, he wanted out, he was at least nice enough. Okay. They moved to New York. He decides, man, just something about her. I don't think it's going to work.
She's a hoe.
Huh? Yeah, she kind of, hosed around a little bit, and that wasn't something that, he wanted, and didn't think that it would work out. So he breaks it off with her, but they're all the way in New York. So boom, they go back home, back to Cali. and they set her up, in a motel. They stay in a motel for, 3 days or so. She's working at an IHOP and starts dating this other guy, Dean, and starts having a little fling with him, which kind of concretes what he was saying. She's a little floozy. And he was like, well, this is going to be easier than I thought. I can get the hell out of Dodge. And boom, he's ziggity boos out. And there for a while, nobody even knew if he was even still alive. He disappeared. He got remarried.
He had been remarried.
He had been remarried. He was married to that woman when he was tripping.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the same woman. That's what it appears. That's what it comes off to, as that was, because she provided an alibi, because, he got pulled over for a taillight. They took him down and whatnot. And he was questioned, blah, blah, blah.
He was put in jail.
Yeah. And he was labeled the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
And being an ex-husband and, your ex-wife is murdered. You're always, the spouse, the boyfriend, husband, those closest are always the first persons of interest.
Right.
So, that's just typical, investigation 911 101. See, that time I was unintentionally funny. I believe that's Chaos that just joined us. I can always always tell. Good morning, Chaos. The sideshow. Chaotic Creations. There you go, man. Free little plug. Drop it in the chat there, man, so people can go check out Chaotic Creations. So he was dismissed as, a suspect, and it's weird because he states, because the filmmaker, the guy interviewing him, asked him, outside of the fact that you're the ex-husband, what else would make the police think that this was you that did this? Well, I worked in cryptology. Is that what it is?
Yeah. He was a cryptologist.
A cryptologist.
He said he was a cryptologist.
He said he was a cryptologist for the Army, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He went to school for it. And the car, yes, Tanya, thank you. The car was, similar to the one that pulled up and fired into the car. So a lot of things, that one just had me all over the place. But I finally came to the conclusion that I believe this guy. I think when you look at his personality, you can tell, what kind of, guy this, he is. I mean, just by the stories he tells, I can see him wandering in the woods, tripping balls.
Yeah.
In the late 60s, I can see that. I wish I was with him. He seems to be a very eccentric guy. He seems to have some nervous, issues. He shakes a little bit. His jaw shakes a little bit. I don't know if it, Parkinson's or whatever, some kind of nerve disorder. Probably from tripping too much in the woods.
Probably.
But so anyway, I believe the guy. I think he was out tripping in the woods on the 4th of July. I don't think he wanted out of the relationship. It wasn't like she left him. He broke it off and wanted to leave. So why would you come back 2 years later and murder the chick you left?
If you're already remarried.
After you're already remarried, you're living your life. And they asked her, they said, well, who do you think did this? He was like, well, I don't know. Some asshole, I guess the Zodiac Killer guy. I don't know. He was like, I don't mess with her scene. I don't know about what she does. I'm doing my thing. She's doing her thing. I believe him. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the in the chat. If you just joined us, we're discussing a little bit about the myth of the Zodiac Killer. a little 2-part documentary on Peacock that became available July 11th. He was also known to stalker.
Yeah, he didn't even live in the same state as her. Well, he may have at that time, but
I don't.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I see about that is
about the gym guy.
Yeah, is because they talk about the one friend of hers talks about how the girl had told her that he was stalking her and that that he had stalked her and that he had like put his hands on her and stuff like that. I mean, some females are a little shady, and who's to say that she wasn't saying that to justify why she was doing the stuff she was doing.
Interesting, because that people were coming to that Dean guy and like, man, why am I seeing your old lady in the car with this Brian guy?
Yeah.
Where did this Brian guy come in? So let's get this straight. Okay. The sister's like, you guys are giving my sister a bad name. No, facts are facts, sister. Okay. She, was cheating on pretty much her husband at the time, Jim Crabtree, or whatever the hell his name is, with the IHOP cook. While the IHOP cook is working nights, she's in a car with Brian.
Yeah.
If anybody has any kind of reason to want to go psycho wackadoo and shoot up the car, it's the Dean guy.
Yeah. Because they're married.
Right. Because
why would Jim care?
Married?
Who?
They were?
Her and Dean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That little part slipped my mind. Okay. And yes, Tanya, the part about being a cryptographer was a lie. They claim.
But why would you lie about something that could incriminate you?
Exactly. That just doesn't make sense. He's only telling you that when people are that brutally honest and saying things that to a layman would make you look guilty, he obviously didn't have any reason.
Because here's my thing: is if the
Good morning, Tom.
the stuff he's saying that he lied about, if it's stuff that is that important, why didn't they put that in the interview they had with him if that's stuff that he said?
Right.
Because they never once said in the interview with him that he had clearance. Never once said that he was a specialist, it never said that stuff. He said that he did it for the Army.
Yeah.
And that he had taken classes.
He
never once said that he was like how they're making it out to be. He just said that he did it.
Yeah. And even if he, why would he lie? What is the purpose behind, lying about saying I was a criminal? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, and you think about it, how many times in your life have you said something shitty or something like that, and then something happens, not to this extent, but then something happens and you're like, man, maybe I really shouldn't have said that.
Exactly.
Because he makes the comment, well, I hope this comes back to you ninefold. People make comments all the time like that are pissed off about something. Times. It's never like he was like, ooh, and then 2 years later, he's like, years later, this happens after I say this. Why would I invest so much time and energy when I'm remarried?
Yeah.
Have another life. Why would I invest so much time and energy with stalking her and then killing her and the guy he didn't die, but I mean, why?
Yeah. I mean, it really, there's no real logic that you can, derive from that. So I really don't believe that old Jimmy Crabtree. I think am I right, Tanya? Is that his name? Crabtree? But anyway, so where I pretty much got in this documentary, The Myth of the Zodiac Killer, they are taking and
it was Crabtree.
It was Crabtree? Okay. they're taking and really focusing in on the letters.
Yeah.
The letters themselves, they say, is really the key in determining whether or not this was one person or whether or if it was,
Multiple people.
multiple people. But the whole myth is that there was no one Zodiac killer.
Right.
A lot of questions there. Why, I don't know. So these letters, they bring in a linguist, people, who literally will study, these letters and how, the dialogue and how people, write and whatnot. And they say that once you become an adult, there are certain things when you're writing things, typing things out, sending text. Not many people write fucking letters anymore. But when you're sending text, you always know that it's that person you're talking to, because there's certain things. I always do the ... There's just little things that, you take a whole, sheet of your text, and there's little things that can be pointed out that, is just you. And that's what they did. And I think they said that, the first 4 letters that were sent, seemed to be by, there were certain things, the usage of small words, just little things that, were a common thread that they could pretty much say, yes, one person wrote that because of these certain things,
right,
that this person and how they write. And they get to another letter, and so they get to another letter, and all of a sudden, little things that shouldn't changed.
hmm
Different words were being used. The overusage of certain small words in the first 4 letters were not being used in this letter that came out after
yeah,
after the taxi cab driver shooting. They came to the conclusion that this letter raises some serious doubts on whether or not it was written by the same people or the same person who wrote the other letters or some of the
right.
other letters. That is fucking huge. That's your cue.
That's not what you wanted to say.
No, I mean, that's fucking huge in this case that
Yeah.
has gone cold for 50 years. I think it's the longest running cold case right now in the US. Nobody knows. Everybody thought, man, this dude's dead. A lot of, researchers and people who have studied this case, for the better part of the last 50 years. One person, it's the same narrative. If you look up Zodiac Killer, you see those
Composites.
Those sketches. And we got to talk about that. The sketches that they brought up. There was the incident with down at the beach. What the hell was it? Bella Essa or Barry Essa or
It
something?
was Barry something.
Yeah, something like a beach. And there was 3 teenagers. They actually had one of the women that was there. They had interviewed her down there. They happened to notice a guy. She just happens to
Peeking
look
behind
up.
a tree.
Whoa, there's a guy kind of peeking around the tree and just kind of staring at him. Just gave him a really creepy vibe, which it would. Then all of a sudden, he starts moving from tree to tree.
Get closer to him.
To get closer, still standing there. So now they're really freaked out because he is now in between them and their car, which is parked up the hill a little bit, which is a very strategic place to be if they were the target.
Right.
And Tanya says, I think the cabbie one was the same person, but not the same as the others. Right. And with that, if that was the case, that completely blows the whole Zodiac killer myth out of the water. And that's what this guy is trying to do. But anyway, she notices this guy. He finally disappears. They don't know where the hell he's at. And so they hurry up, grab their shit, and bam, up the hill they go to get out of there. And this is the third one, right? With the mask. So then, of course, I can't remember their names either. But this is the infamous one where, the guy, and I think this is the one where he talks to him through the mask. Here's the weird thing about this mask.
For 15 minutes.
For 15 minutes, he had a conversation with him. The first one, the only time, that was a big difference from the, prior murders, was there was no talking. There was no conversating with any of the victims. This one, he talked for 15 minutes to him. So, this is the first murder with this, costume. The girl said that this wasn't, the whole, damn word I'm looking for. The little circle and the cross, the hair. Oh, God damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That little sign on his, shirt was not just drawn on. This was embroidered. I mean, this was sewn on. And, this isn't something that, this guy just threw together. So, these are just little things that just seem odd about, what's going on here. The mask it is funny to me because I didn't know this. I always seen the pictures with the glasses over the mask. I thought they were actual glasses. No, these were fucking clip-ons. He said he clipped on to the little eye hole part. Now, what is it with these damn glasses? Now, everybody, you watch these, composites, and they all have those same glasses. That you think every man, who had glasses back in the 60s had those same black fucking glasses, the Buddy Holly glasses.
Yeah.
Everybody had those. But before I forget, the lady who seen him behind the tree gave a composite. Seen him. The lead investigator, I believe, that they took out there, the older gentleman, he even agreed that this is what the guy looks like. The police sketches, the ones you see when you Google Zodiac Killer, he was like, no, that don't look nothing like him. Where did that come from? Now, those were actual eyewitness reports. Those first sketches that the detective said the guy that this woman saw was not that guy.
Right.
That this is the guy. But he also believes it was one guy and it looked like the one that was given, the police sketch there, hiding behind the tree. So that raises a bunch of questions. Were these other witnesses, were they lying when they said that it looked like this person, with the glasses and kind of the short haircut and whatnot? Because they were looking at all kinds of people based on that particular composite.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean, it could mean there are different killers going on here, that it wasn't just one person. These composites are so different. They even suspected the park ranger.
Yeah.
Because the park ranger did some really dumb shit. I mean, he goes to the crime scene. And this is at where the guy hiding behind the tree all of a sudden appears to this other couple as, in the full getup. He takes and goes down to the crime scene before any of the detectives or anything got there, wraps all the blankets up, all the blood, all the evidence.
Plus, he went off radio for
Yeah.
about 45 minutes.
Right. He's supposed to check in. According to the park office, he was gone about 6:45. He didn't check in at 7.
They're supposed to check in every 15 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't check in at 7. He didn't check in again. And he said, well, I'm gonna be out of radio, contact. He put in like a 10-7. That's me. I'll be out of radio contact when he gets back in the area, because he was going to check something. He gets back in the area, it's a 10-8. Well, he didn't report that until about 15 minutes after the reported murder happened.
Right.
There was that time that he wasn't in contact with anybody. Nobody could get in contact with him. So he was suspected, but going by these composites, at least the one that, not the glasses one, but, they didn't look anything like him.
Right.
They kind of cleared him. But sloppy work, man. He picks up all this stuff and just throws it in a box and delivers it to the detectives. That's kind of a charge, ain't it? I mean, he's messing around with evidence there. Let's see what we got going on in here. Who misses us, Jody?
Hold on.
Let's see. Miss you guys. Tiny said, I think there's at least one copycat killer. I agree, because I do believe it is a valid point that, if you're
Scott.
Huh?
Scott.
Oh, Scott. How are you, sir? Thank you for joining. It does make sense that if you have these murders that are being the media, the police are focused in on one particular person, the Zodiac, then, you could go out, murder somebody. They were putting it out in the newspapers, the type of sign that was found, that, and all of this. It had been very easy to write a letter out saying all these details of the crimes because they were being published.
Right.
The media was telling everyone little intricate details, the type of gun, the type of shells that were found, the symbolism, the signs, all these things were being told to the public. It's not that hard to break out a pen and pencil if you've just killed somebody.
Weren't the letters being put out there too?
Letters are being, I know the big, crypto thing was published. I don't know about the letters, if they put them out there for the public to see, but it wouldn't have been that hard to take and, write up a letter with details that you can say, well, only the killer would know that. Well, all you got to do is watch the news, because they're telling you everything. So it wouldn't be that hard, really. So a copycat killer, yes. Which, again, destroys the whole myth that we've believed for 50 years that it's been one person. So it's a very interesting. We're going to wind down. Mrs. Dred's got to go make some money.
Unfortunately. Not
me. I'm off today. But this is a really interesting take on it, and I'm still missing about the last 30 minutes of the second part. Again, 2 hours of your time is all it's going to take. The writing on the car had the dates on it. That could have been, something that anybody, not necessarily the Zodiac, anybody could have found out through the papers and through the news of when these murders happened. Anybody could have wrote that down.
Right.
That doesn't, to me, tie that to any of the other or any of the other murders.
Right.
That's weak at best.
I agree.
That's just that's not something so specific that you could say, well, that only the murderer would know that. But yes, give it a listen or give it a watch on Peacock, Myth of the Zodiac. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Have fun at work there. This is Dreds. Yeah. I'm gonna be here slaving behind the keyboard, being an attention whore. Not really. But again, yeah, thank you guys. If you missed any part of it, just head over to YouTube, Night of the Living Dreds. And that's where you can listen to this one, listen to the little true crime discussion we had yesterday. Talked a lot about Sean Gates and that eerie 911 call from the killer's house. Pretty creepy. You can check that out. All the past lives. Give us a sub there too, man. Need to get to 100 so I can have one of them fancy YouTube URLs, man. And again, don't forget, head over to Kickstarter, Pervert Magazine. Put that in. That is going to help fund Hellvirus Haunted Asylum of Horror, which yours truly will be in. So if you want to see me on the screen, go over there, help us out. You know, if you can't help us out financially, sharing is always the best way. So
sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And with that, we're going to get the hell up out of here. Have a great Taco Tuesday. I don't know where that came from, but have a great day, everybody. We will see. We'll see you. I'll see you next Monday. I'll be doing another true crime. And but we'll be back next Tuesday, Mornings with the Dreds. Later.